Good morning, Peter. How are you this beautiful morning? Welcome to the beach. Not Chris Rea, but Matt Bayerske. How are you doing, guys? Welcome. A few more have jumped on. Bless your hearts for coming on. Bless your hearts for being on the beach with me this morning. Makes a change, eh? Can you all hear me, or is it a bit weird? Because the reception down here on the beach isn't normally brilliant. That's why I don't make videos on the beach. They're never quite as good. Do you hear me, or do you hear the sea, or do you hear the background music? Tell me if it sounds okay. Can you hear me loud and clear? That's great news. Thank you so much. Well, welcome to Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Welcome to the most powerful vacuum cleaner of negative energy you'll ever see in the world. That's right, not Tektite, not far off, but Mother Earth's, the sea, the ocean. It's the most powerful energy clearer. Oh, here we go. Honestly, guys, I've been here for half an hour, more than that. Not a single person. And as soon as I start the video, I've got a group of people right next to me. Sorry, guys. So hopefully they won't hear me. They haven't come too close, which is great news. Do you know, if you believe in reincarnation, guys, I often say to people, be careful for what you wish you don't want. Oh my God, seriously. We've changed seats now and they're coming even closer. So this is exactly what I mean. Look, there's not a single person here at all, and there you go, right next to me. No reason for it at all apart from energy and stopping a beautiful conversation that I was about to give. Is that a bit loud? Sheep, they need to huddle up. They need to herd together. Just give me a second. I'm not the most brightest today with my feelings of wanting people close, but I think the reason why that is because I've got so used to energy from 38 years old. And when you work with energy, when you work with people, you know that a lot of people carry heavy energy. Don't tell me you don't. Oh, but you're a healer, Mark. Yeah, I know. Well, what if I was a mechanic? You know, if everybody kept bringing the car next to me while I'm eating, do you think I want to fix everybody's car while I'm eating? You know what I'm saying? So when you work in that field of work, you prepare yourself, you cleanse yourself, you cleanse the room. You're in that focus, that mode, that powerful state of really understanding the difference between having to sit with somebody and feel their energy, and there's not really anything you can do but to be in that energy and wait till it's time to go. And I know there's a lot of people who talk about protecting themselves when they're with people who are draining. Look, guys, it's a natural energy. It's natural. If your energy is high, if it's up here, right up here, then whoever sat with you, if they're carrying burden, negativity, anger, jealousy, bitterness, sadness, grief, then your energy is going to give, your battery life is going to give battery life to the person sat with you. It's a natural phenomenon. You can't stop it. People used to say to me, how do you stop? You can't stop it. It is who you are and what you are, because this is called the balance. You don't want to be sat with somebody who's not balanced, because your energy is going to suffer badly. So what you're going to do is try and help them in a way that you don't even realize. That's why you're exhausted at the end of a session, when you're sat with somebody, not a session, but sat with, so it feels like a session. But you're not in the right place and mode to be able to clear that energy away. It's very challenging when you're sat with somebody. If you clear a room out, you get it all ready. You've got your crystals, you've got your incense, you've got your everything that you use, all your tools. now you're ready to clear energy. You're now ready to do the work. You know what to do, and at the end you know how to cleanse, and you've got everything all set. That's your job, that's your work. So yeah, I do get a little bit upset when somebody comes into my energy when there's no need to. There's 300 seats here, okay? They sat 2 seats away from me, and I went, okay, that's fine, I can cope with that. Then they all got up again and sat next to me. It's like, seriously? Why? Because when you are producing good energy, you shine like a lighthouse. And what happens is, people don't understand this, but they're attracted to lighthouses, good energy. Whether they are good or bad, it does not matter. You'll attract them in a positive way, or you might attract them in a negative way. So these are the things that you have to understand as a healer. And when you share your message with people who want to progress, want to grow, a lot of people get upset with me and say, well, that's not really loving, is it? That's not kind, that's not caring. Okay, well, burn yourself out like 95% of the healers do. Look at them. Look at most of the healers. They're on their ass. They're sad. They're depressed. They're miserable. They're upset. Why? Because they give up everything about themselves to fully focus on just fixing everybody else. And it really is the worst thing you can do as a healer. Last night was day 3 of the Pure Energy Healing Academy online interactive course. One of the questions were asked, how do we protect ourselves from so-called spiritual people who attack us? Okay, it's really simple. You just don't look at it. You don't focus on it. You don't give it energy. You don't give it life. You don't give it power. You just ignore it, because if you do, you fuel it. And then you start to think about it, and then you start to worry about it. Look, the only thing that's important in your life, what I said last night was, you're listening to the wrong people. And that was a great advice for me when I first started. A beautiful lady said to me, you're listening to the wrong people, Mark. And I'm going, wow, she's right. All I'm doing is looking at the wrong messages, and all the right messages of love and thank yous and, oh my God, you've changed my life, you've made me feel great, I've never felt like this before. I focus on one scallywag who wants to be doing what I'm doing but can't. So then they get angry with me, and then they start attacking me, and that's what happened at the beginning. And I fueled it by thinking, I need to fix this, I need to help them. What have I done? I need to change myself because I'm upsetting them. What am I doing to upset them? You're not doing nothing to upset them. This is the point. Did you hit them over the head with a hammer? No. Well, then you haven't done it. Did you call them anything? Did you say nasty things about them? No. Well, you've done nothing. That's their issue. That's their anger. That's their weakness. That's their emptiness. Screaming out for help. And they attack. That's what most people do. In a relationship, it's the same thing. People fight with each other. Most of the time, it's because there's a weakness, there's an emptiness, there's a fear within them, and then they start screaming at their partner. It's not the partner, it's them. It's no big deal. Do something, don't do it, you know? So, it's really interesting. When you learn to become stronger, that I wasn't even going to talk about this. I was going to talk about Kundalini and what is Kundalini. I did a video the other week, and like, Kundalini is what I'll tell you what Kundalini is. When I first saw a little girl who came into my healing studio, she was about 4 years old, and the mother was extremely powerful in a way that she understood life. She understood the nature of life, and she brought a child up to show me, and I'm like looking, I'm trying to understand why she brought a child to see me, right? And I'm like, she's perfect, she's absolutely beautiful, her energy is incredible, you know, I don't know what I'm looking for. She says, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. I said, oh, so you're not bringing her because there's something wrong? She says, no, she's perfect. And I'm like, that's Kundalini. That's Kundalini. That is what that child was doing was Kundalini. That is the perfect opening of a flower at that given moment. That perfect moment of opening your eyes and being who you're meant to be. Every action, every reaction is Kundalini that I was looking at this child. This is a perfect state of being. No fear, no worries, no pain, no suffering, and being able to be who she wants to be, and no interference, no anger, no anything. It was just like the mother was guarding her child, looking after it, and every time the little girl did something that may be a little bit, oh, be careful, she would say, now my dear, when you hold this, one of the best ways to hold it is try and hold it like this, and use your other hand and try and hold it like this, and then now try this way. And she told her 4 ways while I was sat down watching. She told her 4 ways how to handle a bottle of oil, right? 4 ways. How many mothers would do that? How many mothers would say, put that down? And then the child will look like, what the hell? Killing the Kundalini. You're killing the nature of everything that a child needs to experience. That's why they're here in the world. But what happens to a child is their Kundalini gets killed. It gets beaten instantly. As soon as you come out of the womb, there's a nurse or a doctor slapping that child, wiping all the nature, the Kundalini that needs to connect with the mother, the smell, the natural moment of the bonding of Kundalini. So Kundalini means everything of nature. To me, that's what it means. Everything that is natural. Once you beat that out of a child, once all of that is gone, you cannot expect a child or an adult to understand what Kundalini is. It's impossible. And that's why so many people, when they have the awakening of the Kundalini, don't know what to do with it, because they've had it beaten out of them. They don't understand it. They've been brainwashed out of it. Their natural ability is all killed, because there is no natural ability. They're automatons, they're robots. They're told to put their hand up, they're told to walk here, told to sit down there for 6 hours and listen to this nonsense and do this. And so there is no Kundalini. It's been deliberately sabotaged, right? When you see a child that is be allowed to flow, that's Kundalini. And that's why a lot of beautiful children have this energy that they produce, which is so powerful. It's unreal. Now, some people are stronger than the weakness of our parents and teachers, and we break free from that, and we tend to have a little essence of Kundalini, and that is the understanding of life and what it means. Not working, not working, not working, not rushing, not time, rush. I need to get, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, you don't need to do anything, mate. Yes, you do. You need to do it, because if not, no, you don't. Yes, you do. You're not doing it right. Who says I'm not doing it right? Doing it right because of the way you're doing it. Well, what if I want to do it a different way? So there's the aspect of a lot of people have a little bit of Kundalini, have a little bit of that nature that they fight for, which they shouldn't fight for, and that in turn stops you as well. Because when you fight for Kundalini, when you fight for the nature of who you are, the reason why you're here, there's a block instantly, because you're not meant to fight. That's the whole point of living and being on this planet. You're meant to flow with the nature of Kundalini. And then when you flow with that energy, the energy of the cosmos, the universe, links into you. You become one, and you become everything. That's why every thought, every inspiration, every feeling creates whatever we do. Everything is started by a single thought. But what is that thought? It's Kundalini. It's the moment you connect to Kundalini. It's the moment you connect to Mother Earth, the cosmos. And that connection is ultimately the most powerful place of infinite possibilities. Why? Because you create them. So, a single thought is what's created everything on this planet. It starts with a single thought, but where does the thought come from? Everybody tends to focus on the brain. It's the brain. No, it's not. It comes from Kundalini. It comes from the energy around. It comes from the spirit world. It comes from the infinite. And we can pick up on that. But we've been brainwashed not to think about Kundalini, not to think about the essence of who you are, the spirit, the consciousness. Everything that you are has been killed by a programmed, sick, satanic, and it is satanic, it's evil, parasitical. It's a company, it's a business, it's a corporation, right? Because everything they do to you is making you into an employee of the corporation. Because once you buy into, I gotta get a dress, I gotta get a handbag, I gotta get married, I gotta get a house, I gotta get a car, I've gotta get a wedding ring, you're programmed. And there's no Kundalini anymore. So that's the truth. And most of us don't understand it. And that's why when the masters and the gurus, the so-called gurus, talk about Kundalini and how dangerous it is dangerous because you have no idea what it is anymore, because you're so disconnected that you've awakened something that you can't control, you don't understand, and then you go into fear, and then you end up probably on medication because the doctor's saying you're hearing voices, or many strange things are happening to you. So you again get medicated up and being put into a loony bin or taken care of by people. And there you go. There's the world we live in. Most of the most powerful geniuses of this world are sectioned, right? Some of the most inspirational music is written when they get sectioned. Why? Because the Kundalini is there and they're connecting to that. Anyway, it is what it is. It's an interesting subject, but I think we're far too programmed now, and I think what will happen is we'll self-explode, because nothing that any of us look at these days, nothing is a creation of what our future will be. Everything that we think about, everything that we focus on, everything that we attune to in our future is creating everything what evil wants us to. Everything that mainstream media does, everything that Hollywood does, everything that your TV does, everything that you look at on here is of a world of destruction and death and chaos, zombies, end of world, nothing left, it's all burned. Well, if that's all you're seeing all day, well, that's all the world is creating, because evil knows that your thoughts create the future. Why do you think it's all death and destruction on Hollywood and everything? Why isn't there beautiful images of a world so beautiful and so powerful and so gorgeous and so loving and so connected? Why isn't there any films on that? Why isn't there one film on a future of beauty and love and people elevating and connecting through their thoughts and living in harmony and peace with animals? Why? Eh? I tell you why. Because they don't want that. Because evil is destructive. That's why. And we're run by evil, not by love. So, end of the days, what we're going to do, it's all going wrong. No, you just create your own future. And it will work if you create your own future. So my thoughts are of a beautiful place where I want to live. A beautiful, peaceful harmony. Gorgeous, infinite abundance and love and kindness and peace and more peace. So I create that every day in my thoughts and feelings, and sure enough it will happen in my world. Maybe not in your world, but in my world it will, because I'm creating it. So what do you do? What do you focus on? It's awful, isn't it? Because most of the time, if I'm right, you're focused on the tragedy, the deaths that they're pushing on you every moment of the day. So-and-so has just shot so-and-so. So-and-so has just cooked and eaten so-and-so. 2 children have just killed their parents. It's all deliberate, guys. It's all deliberate. It's all deliberate. You know what? Right now, there's 1 billion people doing beautiful things for others. Why don't they ever put that on? Why don't they ever show the amazing kindness that is happening every single moment of the day? Because evil is in control. So, now that you know that, take control. They can't control your life. They can only try and manipulate you. Once you get it, you switch it off. And then you create and you connect to the Kundalini. And moment by moment, step by step, thought by thought, breath by breath, step by step, you get closer to Kundalini. You get closer to that connection. Anybody can reach Kundalini. Anybody can reach Nirvana. But it's the journey that's important. Everybody wants to get to that end result now. That's programming. You've got to be first. You've got to be the best. You've got to be before everybody else. No, you don't. That's all programming. You've done that deliberately. So you don't actually know what you're doing on this planet. You have no clue. If you don't pick a brush up and look at it, if you don't start to sweep it, and if you don't start to clean and tidy around here and there, and then you don't start to get, let's say, a pair of scissors and clean them under UV light, and if you don't start to wash people's hair and talk to them, and if you don't start to understand what the scalp is, if you don't understand how to treat your customer, you'll never be a hairdresser. You'll never be a hairdresser, because you'll only be somebody who knows what you've done. So you get people who jump from cleaning and from understanding people and understanding how to run a hairdressing salon from the bottom upwards, and they pay thousands of dollars, and then they just go and learn 3 months to cut hair, and they come into a hairdresser's and they haven't got a clue how to run a hairdresser. They only know how to cut somebody's hair. They don't know how to connect and communicate and to understand anything. Thus, the world is like that. People have only sound bites of everything, but they don't know from start to finish. That's why being a pure energy healer, you've got to start by understanding your tools, understanding every crystal, every aspect of what you're doing, the healing bed, painting your room so it's beautiful, putting the energy into that room, making it all lovely, and then understanding your client by lying them down and working on their energy. So all this, there's a process in everything you do. You know, when you eat a cocktail of fruits, you're only eating the final moment of what somebody's prepared. If you actually get if you go and hunt for the fruits, if you pull each fruit off a tree and smell it, and then take it into a kitchen and then start to clean them and peel them and cut them and dice them and whatever you want to do with them, and then put them down on a table next to you, and then you put on a table next to somebody that doesn't know what you've done, they'll eat it and it'll be just gone. You'll eat it with the appreciation of picking the apple, of cleaning the apple, of smelling the apple, of holding the apple, of understanding that divine moment of picking the apple and feeling the energy from it. And as you eat it, you're eating all of those things, whereas the person next to you is just eating a bowl of fruit. So what happens this day and age now, everybody's just eating takeaway food that they don't even know what it is. They don't even think about it. It's just filling their stomach up. So everything in life is either Kundalini or it's not. And most of us live in a world of programming. So there's my chat today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I haven't upset anybody. This is always food for thought, and I hope you don't take me the wrong way. Okay, love you all, sending you my love. Today is the final day of the Pure Energy Healing 4-day course. I've got to say, with my hand on my heart, I'm absolutely blown away by everybody who's taken part in this 4-day course. And because the price was drastically reduced, there was so much thankfulness. There was it was incredible how many people really truly grasped what we did for them. and they've embraced it with all their hearts, and I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. So the pure energy healing practitioners family, by the end of tonight, will have grown hugely, like more than you can imagine, because those few souls in this world are going to create more beautiful energy and heal more beautiful souls. How long they do that for, with the rest of their life, full-time, part-time, or once in a lifetime, makes no difference. Doesn't matter. I say this: if you've helped one person in their life, you've done what you're meant to do on this planet. So everything else is a bonus for you and the universe and for you. Okay guys, love you all. I hope you've enjoyed this day on the beach. Thank you so much guys. Love you all. Make the world a better place, eh? A good that should be on a bumper sticker. A good hairdresser knows the client better than they know themselves. I was a hairdresser from 17 years old till I don't know how old I was, 20, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years, something like that. And you're absolutely right. We end up understanding our clients. We end up being the psychologist. We end up being the healer. We end up being the advisor and the carer. Yeah, we do. And I tell you what was really fascinating for me, that I noticed within myself. I could mold myself into my client within the first 3 minutes. What that means is, when I speak to my client, I listen to them first of all. I listen to their words, I listen to their actions, I listen to their energy, I feel them inside and out, and then I can speak to them and I can connect to them. And I think I was kind of known as a hairdresser that listened. Not many do. So a lot of them have ego and say, well, I'm the hairdresser, I know best. But I used to listen. And everybody used to say I was boring. I was a boring hairdresser. But I had a fantastic clientele, and they were loyal. Why? Because they trusted me. And what that means is, and I know this is absolutely 100% correct, and I still believe it will be to this day. The hairdresser knows best, so they're going to take off another 1 inch or another 1.5 inches or more, okay? They're going to cut your hair in a way that you didn't even ask for, right? So when a lady comes to me with long flowing hair, I can see the effort she took to look after her hair and how long it takes to grow that hair. And so when I cut it, and I say, I take her hair in my hands and I lift it up, and I say, okay, I'm going to take about that much off. And they go, oh, thank you. So I'll cut it as perfect as I can with less than 1/2 inch to cut. And they walk out of that salon feeling trusted, loved and listened to. It's not just a haircut. It's not just a haircut. It's like a lovely little ritual. So these are the things that I observed as a hairdresser, and I wasn't even into any of this kind of, so-called spiritual work. I say so-called because I just don't see it anymore in the so-called circles of spiritual people. I just see ego and those kind of hairdressers, the same kind of hairdresser, same kind of energy. It doesn't matter if you're a hairdresser or a spiritual healer, reader, clairvoyant. You're still the same person. It doesn't matter. You still do the same. You still cut too much off. You still, think you're better than others, and you still think you're more powerful, and you want everybody to listen to you and look at what you've done. Look at my haircut. I'm better than everyone. It's like, it's just ego everywhere. And last night I did mention on one of the questions that I loved one-to-one healings, because when you are on a level of one-to-one, there's something about the connection of one-to-one which is beautiful. So I could have a guy come to me and sit down and burst into tears, right? Burst into tears, pour all his heart out. I give him a healing session. He looks at me and says, "Oh my God, mate, that I can't thank you enough." And then I go out and see him the next day with a group of guys, and he'll become an absolute twat. He'll be an absolute jerk, and he'll laugh at me, and he'll laugh at me walking past him with my silly pants on and my stupid tops, and he'll join in with the crowd. And I realised a long time ago, even when I was a kid, when my best friend was with a group of other kids, other friends, he booted me in my leg, and I went down and I was crying, and I looked at him and I felt so upset and betrayed. Like yesterday we were playing together, and I thought we really had a lovely friendship, but then today we're with a group of other lads, and you kicked me in my knee and you gave me a dead knee, and I'm crying on the floor, and I'm walking home thinking, you weren't like that yesterday when you were just with me. And actually nothing's changed. When we grow up, we behave the same way. Most people behave the same way in groups. They turn into some kind of, and I don't want to, say anything negative about wolves, because wolves are actually beautiful animals that take care of the pack. And when they migrate from one place to another, their way of looking after the pack is the strongest. They're always at the back. And then the weakest are always at the front. So the grandmas, the granddads who can't walk very well are the ones who take the lead, and everybody has to follow with that. So their humanity isn't the most perfect species on this planet. The lion isn't the most dangerous animal on this planet. Humanity is, man is, woman is. Woman can be equally as nasty. Women can be equally as nasty. I've encountered women that are toxic, who claim to be the fifth dimension starseeds. They are highly. They're part of some greater power, and I see them sat in a room on their own, bitching and being nasty to people, and then claiming to be this powerful being on this planet to help save the planet. And yet, listening to them, sat with them, they're toxic, they're evil. So I realised judgment is about one-to-one. Somebody on a one-to-one, but then you realise they're not the same person when they're in crowds. And thus, I think the Buddha was right. I think a lot of people who find themselves just get out of their hometown, leave these people behind, because they're never going to see you for anything other than what you are. Go under a tree for 20 years like the Buddha did, sit on his own. I get it now, I understand. It's not solitude, it's just you'll only ever know yourself when you're with yourself. When you're with other people, never going to happen. Have a lovely day, guys. Take care.